The Odawa, also known as Ottawa or Odaawaa, are an indigenous people whose history and culture have significantly shaped the narrative of North America, particularly in the Great Lakes region. Today we explore into the rich tapestry of Odawa history, their cultural practices, interactions with European settlers, and their contemporary existence, exploring how they have navigated through centuries of change while preserving their unique identity. The origins of the Odawa are steeped in the lore of the Anishinaabe peoples, which includes the Ojibwe and Potawatomi. According to their oral traditions, the Anishinaabe, guided by Migi's luminescent beings, migrated from the Atlantic coast's Dawnland into the Great Lakes region. This migration is encapsulated in the Seven Fires prophecy, which speaks of moving west until they found food growing on water, which they identified as wild rice in the Great Lakes area. The Odawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi eventually settled into distinct groups, yet they maintained close cultural and linguistic ties, forming what is known as the Three Fires Confederacy. The Odawa's name, derived from Odawa, meaning to trade, reflects their historical role as traders, a function that would define much of their interaction with both other indigenous groups and Europeans. Traditionally, the Odawa were semi-nomadic, adapting their lifestyle to the seasons. During summer, they lived in agricultural villages where they planted crops like corn, beans, squash, the Three Sisters, and tobacco, which were primarily managed by women. Men were responsible for hunting, fishing, and occasionally warfare. The winter months saw them disperse into smaller groups for hunting, living in more temporary structures like wigwams or longhouses. Their spiritual life was deeply intertwined with nature, adhering to an animistic belief system where everything in the universe, animals, plants, stones, and water, possessed a spirit. The Midewiwin, or Grand Medicine Society, was central to their spiritual practices, focusing on healing, teaching, and maintaining a balance with the natural world. Odawa culture placed a strong emphasis on kinship, with clans serving as the basic social units. Clans were not just familial, but also carried specific roles and responsibilities within the community. Marriages were often arranged to forge alliances, and their society was matrilineal in many respects, with lineage traced through the mother's line. The arrival of Europeans in the 17th century marked a period of profound change for the Odawa. Initially, they established beneficial trading relationships with the French, who were interested in the fur trade. The Odawa became crucial intermediaries, their canoes traveling vast distances across what is now Canada and the United States. This era also saw them engaging in conflicts like the French and Indian War, where they allied with the French against British expansion. The interactions weren't solely economic or military, they were cultural as well. The Odawa adopted some European goods and technology, but also faced devastating impacts from European diseases, which they had no immunity against, leading to significant population declines. The 18th and 19th centuries were particularly tumultuous for the Odawa, with numerous treaties signed under duress or misunderstanding. The Treaty of Greenville in 1795 was one of the earliest, where they ceded much of Ohio but retained some lands. However, subsequent treaties, especially in the 19th century, led to further land cessions, often in exchange for reservations or annuities that were inadequate or not honored. Notable among these was the Treaty of Detroit in 1807, which saw significant land concessions in Michigan and Ohio. The War of 1812 further complicated matters, with the Ottawa siding with the British against American expansion, leading to more land agreements after the conflict. Despite these challenges, the Ottawa demonstrated remarkable resilience. In the 20th century, there was a push towards cultural revitalization. The establishment of the Ottawa Tribe of Oklahoma in 1978, after a period of federal termination in 1956, is a testament to their determination to reclaim their identity and sovereignty. Today, various Odawa communities in Michigan, Ontario, and Oklahoma are recognized as sovereign nations. They operate under their own governance, managing health services, education, and cultural programs. Efforts to revive the Odawa language, Dawamwin, are underway, with language nests, educational programs, and community events. In modern times, the Odawa continue to celebrate their heritage through powwows, where traditional dances, songs, and stories are shared. These gatherings are not only cultural celebrations, but also platforms for political and social discourse among the community. Crafts such as beadwork, basketry, and birch bark art are still practiced, often blending traditional motifs with contemporary designs. The Odawa also maintain a connection to the land through environmental stewardship, recognizing the intrinsic link between their culture and the natural world. The Odawa face ongoing challenges from historical land claims, which are sometimes contested in courts, to contemporary issues like economic development, health disparities, and cultural preservation in a world where indigenous languages and practices are at risk. However, they adapt by engaging with modern economies through tribal enterprises like casinos, which provide revenue and jobs, while also sparking debate about cultural authenticity and economic dependency. Education has become a focal point, with tribal colleges and schools emphasizing both general and cultural education to prepare the young for a world that is both global and local. The story of the Odawa is one of adaptation, resilience, and cultural richness. From their ancient migrations to their current efforts in cultural preservation, they have navigated through centuries of change while maintaining a vivid sense of identity. Their journey reflects broader themes of indigenous survival, resistance, and revival in North America. The Odawa continue to contribute to the cultural mosaic of the region, advocating for their rights, preserving their traditions, and ensuring that their voices and stories resonate into the future. This narrative is not just about the past, but speaks to a vibrant, living culture that stands as a testament to the enduring spirit of the Odawa people.